Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Playmakers Corner podcast. I am Gideon, and today we are here for my first of 3 episodes of the Player Spotlight series. Now, if this is your first time listening to a episode of this particular series that we have, the Player Spotlights are a series of players that we drafted back in January, and we're going to basically go through with the same rubrics that we use for our top 5 analysis for each position, chart out where we think these players are, and then discuss how we think they're going to do this upcoming season and where they are as prospects. This is kind of harkening back to the olden days when we were doing the regular film breakdowns, and we decided to focus a little bit more on the players this offseason. So today I have 6 players from some of the smaller classifications and smaller towns in Colorado football, because I'm a small town guy. I love to put on for some of these guys that may not get this opportunity otherwise. And let me tell you, we have 6 very, very good players today. Just to run you through, we have Ben Reish, an interior offensive lineman from Canyon City. Jordan Jones, a 6'2 safety from Banning Lewis. Brogan Palmer, an edge rusher from Highland. Griffin Kratochvil, an edge rusher from Meade. Robert Wittke, a receiver from Denver West. And Eli Schuknecht, a running back from Buena Vista. I have 2 more episodes. This is just the one focusing on guys from smaller schools and smaller communities. But that is that. And we're going to run through real quick, starting with Ben Reish. And so Mr. Reish is primarily an interior offensive lineman for the Tigers down in Canyon City, but he does also play on the defensive line. His freshman year, he had 4 tackles, half a sack, and a pass deflection. His sophomore year, he had 30 tackles, 1 hurry, 1 pass deflection, and 1 fumble recovery. And his junior season, he had 27 tackles, 1 hurry, 2 forced fumbles, and on the offensive line had 73 pancakes and 0 sacks. And so I'm just going to preface this and all of the rubric analysis. Our colleague Coach V did a lot of the scouting reports on these players along with the rubrics, so I'm reporting the help that I got from Coach V. And so looking at it, Mr. Reish had a 75.3 out of 100 total score. His 3 highest grades were 7.9 out of 10 on contact, head, shoulder position, and initiation of contact, an 8 out of 10 on frame, and an 8 out of 10 on versatility, with the 3 lowest grades being a 3 out of 5 on the second level, 3.5 out of 5 on combo blocking, so who's getting the double team and who peels off and to where, and 7 out of 10 on the run blocking. All of Reish's grades in these categories, so again, 8 in frame, 8 in versatility, out of 10 those are. 7.5 out of 10 for pull blocking, so the plant step, opening hip step, IDing and blocking the right guy. 7.5 out of 10 on strength, both on the field and in the weight room. 7 out of 10 for run blocking, and 7.9 out of 10 for contact, head, shoulder position, and contact initiation. In terms of the out of 5 point grades, Reish has a 3.8 out of 5 for hands, 3.6 out of 5 for pass protection, 3.5 out of 5 for combo blocking, so who's getting the double team and who peels off, 3 out of 5 on the second level, 4 out of 5 on the first step, 3.8 out of 5 on block finishing, 3.9 out of 5 for ability to pick up a blitz, and 3.8 out of 5 for reaction time. The notes here, again from Coach V. So Reish is a bit more of a raw O-line prospect who needs an O-line coach to clean up some of the aspects of his game, but he is a good enough athlete where there could be something there. He has solid agility and is an aggressive run blocker. He does lack precision when pancaking his opponents at times, pulling and working to the next level. And while he didn't allow any sacks, Canyon City isn't exactly a passing team. I'd like to see if he can get stronger and really flex his athleticism this season for a college who may see him as a raw athlete that they can mentor. And for my notes, in terms of pure strength, he's one of the better players that I've seen in Colorado. He's just bowling over guys in every clip of his film, it feels like. And I'm expecting to see a huge year out of Reish. He's a preseason pick in my mind for an all-PMC team. And with his younger brother Max joining the team, I am really excited to see what the Tigers do this year when it comes to the line. In terms of offers, Reish has them from Northern Colorado, Colorado Mesa, Adams State, Chadron State, Fort Lewis, Sioux Falls, and CSU Pueblo. And I see he's posting a lot of graphics with interest from Washington State on there. And so I honestly think that Reish could be the first player from Canyon City in a very long time to go D1. I mean, regardless, he's got that offer from Northern Colorado, so he's probably gonna, at least in my mind, I'd love to see Reish on the back of a blue jersey, but that's just me. Now, in terms of big games this season, games that we're going to, no guarantees make it to, but games we're going to have on the dartboard of ones that we're going to look at on a week-by-week basis. So in week 1, they're going to be playing Resurrection Christian. Week 2, they're going to be traveling to Eagle Valley. Week 3, going to be hosting Summit. Week 4, going up to Colorado Springs to face Cheyenne Mountain. Week 5, hosting Harrison. Week 6, going to be heading out to Pueblo Central. Week 7, heading out to Coronado. Week 8, staying home for Pueblo East at Pueblo County the week after that, and then hosting Sierra as the season closer. And so thinking about Canyon City as a whole and the athletes that they have on that squad, between Reish, Jake Adamich, and Gavin Reddick, I think that they should at least go 7-3 in the schedule, probably. Easy wins against Sierra and Coronado. Harrison's actually one of the games that I have on the list of games to watch. Because Harrison, they have a lot of very big defensive linemen, a lot of very big offensive linemen as well. So this game is a good opportunity for Reish to show his versatility, to throw his weight around a little bit against really big players. Against Pueblo Central also, that's just a team. They've got guys like Giovanni De Herrera, where they have a historically good defensive line and they know how to scheme, at least in my mind. So I think that if Reish is able to excel in that matchup, he's going to have some good tape to show coaches. And at Eagle Valley doesn't have the best offensive linemen, but looking at the quality of the game last year, it was relatively close. And the travel factor, because thing is, these fellows are going to be traveling up to Eagle Valley for this game. That is a solid 4-hour drive, depending on how that goes. And of course, depending on Denver traffic. But I'm just imagining a world where these fellas end up getting up there, tired as all hell, and end up being able to just play some smash mouth football. And I think that could demonstrate to some coaches, hey, I'm able to get this done on this kind of travel schedule. It's not like if you make it to college, you're going to be playing tired a lot or anything like that. No, like, this will be able to demonstrate to coaches, I'm able to get it done no matter where I am. So again, that is a 75.3 out of 100 for Ben Reish, but we're expecting that to jump up by the time the season ends. Next up, though, we have from Banning Lewis Preparatory Academy, a safety, Jordan Jones. Yes, Jones, he was an all-PMC safety for us last season. Absolutely great career so far. So I've started his freshman year with 7 tackles, 1 fumble recovery. Sophomore year, 50 tackles with 4 picks, 2 pass deflections, and 3 forced fumbles. His junior year, 131 tackles, 1 pick, 3 deflections, 1 blocked field goal, 2 forced fumbles, and on the offensive side, 560 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns, and 225 kick return yards, again, to be an all-PMC safety. In terms of the total film breakdown, Jones got a 77.75 out of 100 for the safety grades. His 3 highest grades were ball skills, tracking ability, and angles, which were a 4.35 out of 5, versatility, which was an 8.5 out of 10, and pass breakup ability, which was a 4.2 out of 5. His 3 lowest grades, though, were power block shedding, which is direct contact, with a 3 out of 5, hit power with a 3 out of 5, and man coverage ability with a 6 out of 10. The total spreadsheet grades, however, so looking at the out of 10 grades, again, that is 8.2 out of 10 for frame, 8.5 out of 10 for versatility, 6 out of 10 for man coverage ability, 8.3 out of 10 for zone coverage ability, 8.2 out of 10 for straight line speed, and 8.2 out of 10 for play recognition. Out of 5, agility and hip fluidity are 4 out of 5, acceleration is 4.1 out of 5, hit power is a 3, finesse block shedding is 3.6, power block shedding is 3, pass breakup ability 4.2, and again, ball skills 4.35 with form tackling at a 4.1. So a lot of grades in that 8 range. It's just those couple that are in the 6 range that are dragging it down a little bit. If he fixes those things up, he more than has the ability to move up into the 80s when it comes to that. Again, that is 77.75 out of 100 on the recruit scale. And so, in terms of Simon's film notes, at Banning Lewis Preparatory Academy, Jones is probably the best player on that team right now. He does it all at wide receiver and DB, playing both ways, and in addition, he's a returner on special teams, so he is there versatility-wise. He's a tall DB to have, and he uses that to his advantage. At safety, he has good range and will not let anything get past him passing-wise. He's not the best hitter or anything, but he is a solid tackler and is willing to get involved in the run game. Simon thinks he is best used in coverage, where he will intercept passes if thrown his way. He has a very good vertical and even better hands to come down with the ball. Going into his senior year, he could make some serious noise and maybe even garner the attention of more college coaches as far as football opportunities go. Personally, when I look at Jones, I see someone that's fast, someone that's shifty, someone that is smart. He's a multi-sport athlete playing basketball as well for BLPA. And even though they may not be the best team next year, Jones is going to shine if it's anything like last. And so, looking at his offers, he doesn't have any that we are aware of, but at this point, we can probably guess that he's going to score some offers from RMAC schools by the end of the year, schools like Adams State, Fort Lewis, and Chadron State. We do know that it is harder to get recruited as a small school guy, but if you play, they will find you. And looking at potential big games this upcoming season, we're going to have to first look at the full schedule. So they open at University, then host Alamosa, going to Sterling the next week, then hosting North Fork, before entering league play against Woodland Park, Florence, La Junta, Lamar, and Manitou Springs. And so I'm going to bet that the biggest games for Jones here will probably be University, which is a historically good team, a good litmus test, would have made the playoffs if not for Brevin Doss's injury last year. Sterling is the next game. I think that the Tigers are a talented team with some good receivers and some interesting matchups, including against players like Hunter Hirschfeld, and I think that's going to be a fun game to watch. And finally, in league play, I think Lamar is going to be the best matchup against an amazing quarterback in Jacob Dunning. If Jones is able to get a pick or even 2 against Dunning, I think that's a game that will turn a lot of heads for college coaches. And so again, this is Jordan Jones, the 6'2", 280-pound safety from Banning Lewis Preparatory Academy, out of our 100-point scale. Again, that is a 77.75. Our next spotlight preview is going to be on a 6'5", 230-pound edge rusher with a 6'10" wingspan from one Highland High School. Yes, that is Brogan Palmer. This kid's just been killing it ever since he was a freshman, one of our finalists for Newcomer of the Year in 2022. Started his career with 39 tackles, 2 sacks, 229 receiving yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns as a tight end. His sophomore year, 37 tackles, 3 sacks, 11 hurries, and 3 pass deflections. And then his junior year, he was our Defensive Playmaker of the Year, 73 tackles, 28 of which were for loss. Again, 28 TFLs, 11 sacks, 49 hurries, 7 forced fumbles, 2 of them recovered, and 9 pass deflections. What do you even say to that? What do you even say to that? That's just insane. That is insanity. That's insane play. And he's actually the highest graded player that I'm going to be going over today. At edge rusher, his film breakdown grade is 81.6 out of 100. His 3 highest grades are frame with 8.7 out of 10, play recognition with 4.3 out of 5, and versatility with an 8.5 out of 10. His 3 lowest grades are pass coverage with a 3 out of 5, power pass rushing with 3.8 out of 5, and form tackling with 3.8 out of 5. Those are still 7.6, still 7.6 out of 10. Still pretty darn good grades. Now, looking at the overall rubric, again, we have him graded out with his 10-point stats being 8.7 and 8.5 on frame and versatility, 8.5 out of 10 for gap/edge run discipline, 8.1 out of 10 on hit power and strip, 8.4 on agility and hip mobility, and 8.4 on first step. On his grades out of 5, we have 4.2 on pass rushing, 3.8 on power pass rushing, finesse pass rushing and power pass rushing, that is, 4.2 on finesse run block shedding, 3.7 on power run block shedding, 3.8 on form tackling, 4 out of straight line speed, 3 out of pass coverage, and 4.3 out of play recognition. So pretty darn good there. In terms of notes, quote, Palmer has been a beast since his freshman year, and honestly, Simon was extremely impressed with his junior film. He is a long edge rusher at 6'5" with a 6'10" wingspan, and he uses every single bit of that wingspan. His hands are very good, and he has shown the ability to block shed effortlessly and hand fight well. In a classification where leverage is emphasized all the time, he does such a good job battling off the edge. It also helps that he has a really good first step and is agile enough to adjust when needed. Now, there are times on film where a lineman will beat him out for leverage and get hands on him. In those moments, his lack of strength does show, but it can be fixed. Palmer can be a really interesting project player for a lot of D1s and D2s, and depending on how his senior year goes, it can affect where he plays. We will see, though. And so, weirdly enough, Palmer only has one offer for the next level, that being from Northern Colorado. But honestly, I expect a few schools to add their names to that list. Honestly, I would love to see Palmer on the back of a CSU jersey. Might just be me, but I would love to see him in the green and gold. And in that case, he wouldn't have to get rid of any of his high school merch because it's the same colors. Sorry, I just always like thinking about that. But for big games this season, my answer is just yes. honestly, I think that this schedule, I would be surprised if Highland does anything less than 8-1, and even 8-1 is pushing it. I think they should be undefeated. The only real challenge I can see is Platte Valley. I think that'll be a league championship again. I don't even know how to say. Palmer is going to be the best, I'm just going to say it. I think Palmer is going to be one of the two best players in the 1A classification. It's going to be him and Azariah Hurtado. And honestly, I would pay good money to watch that game between Highlands and Mont Vista. I would love to watch that game. And I think that, granted, there's only so much an edge rusher and tight end can do for you, but I think that Palmer is going to do a hell of a lot for this team, and I cannot wait to get out to a game, preferably that Platte Valley one, and see Palmer play for what might be the last time. At least, not his last time, my last time. But regardless, really looking forward to seeing what he does this season. Next up, we have another edge rusher, this time from Meade. The 6'2", 230-pounder Griffin Kratochvil. So his freshman year, he had 2 tackles. Sophomore year, he had 42 tackles with 5.5 sacks for the Mavericks. And then last year, when they were the state runner-ups in the 3A classification, for some reason, he only had 12 tackles and 2 sacks. Now, I am not fully sure as to why that is, but we still think that he can have a high-impact senior year, and we definitely think that he is a next-level player. He's kind of in between positions right now. We'll get into that a little bit later, but Kratochvil is definitely someone that coaches should be keeping an eye on at the very least. And so, looking at his film breakdown, it's not quite as... it doesn't pop off the sheet as much. So, this is a 73.8 out of 100. His 3 highest grades are 8.2 out of 10 for frame, 4.1 out of 5 for power run block shedding, and then it is a tie with 8 out of 10 for versatility, 4 out of 5 for power pass rushing, gap and edge run discipline with an 8 out of 10, hit power and strip 8 out of 10, and play recognition as a 4 out of 5. His 3 lowest grades are finesse pass rushing with a 3 out of 5, pass coverage with a 3 out of 5, and first step with a 6 out of 10. And so for the film notes, Griffin has the frame to be a next level player, but feels like he is in between positions at interior defensive lineman and edge rusher. Once he finds the frame that suits him best, he will succeed. For now, he has solid power moves and moves well enough to play defensive end on this level. Realistically, if he put on some weight, he could be better inside as a lighter interior guy, but regardless, going into his senior year, it will be big, as he needs to make a really big impact to decide what kind of offers he is going to get. His sophomore year was more productive than his junior, so we will see what happens. And looking at his offer sheet, as of right now, he doesn't have any that we're aware of. Doesn't mean that there aren't any there, but he's definitely somebody that if coaches are looking for a bit of a project defensive lineman, this is somebody with a higher ceiling, at least in my opinion, that you could pick up. And games to look at this season to see how he does against good competition. While looking at his schedule overall, the Mavs are going to start the season at Pueblo South, and then the next week they're going to be going to Frederick. Week 3 is versus Greeley West. Week 4 traveling down to Lewis Palmer. Week 5 they're going to host Holy Family, and then the next week they'll be hosting Timnath. Week 7 is going to be Greeley Central. 8 is versus Northridge. Week 9 is at Windsor, and then they close the season at Niwot. And so the games to watch for Meade and Kratochvil this season. Frederick, they were a very good playoff team last year in 4A. They are losing a couple of pieces, but they do have a solid offensive line. So Windsor is the other game to look at in my mind. They have the best offensive line in 3A. Multiple players with D1 offers on that OL. If you want offers, you're going to perform in that game. At Lewis Palmer will be another good opportunity. They have a very good offensive tackle in Tyson Logan that I think will be a very interesting matchup. And Lewis Palmer just has a history of producing solid athletes. So again, that is Griffin Kratochvil from Meade. Overall, 73.8 out of 10, or not out of 10, out of 100. But there's plenty to work with there. Just has to find his lane, and he'll be in pretty darn good shape. He's a good athlete, nonetheless. It's just some of that finer finesse stuff that he needs to work on, but once he's got it, he's going to have it. Next up, we have a wide receiver from Denver West. We have one Robert Wittke, just an amazing player last year for the Cowboys, standing at 6'1", 185 pounds, also plays safety. Stats from last season: he had 478 receiving yards with 9 touchdowns, 170 rushing yards with 2 tutties, 250 kick return yards with 1 punt return touchdown, 3 conversions, and on defense, 39 tackles, 4 of them for loss, 9 interceptions. Again, hear that one more time: 9 picks, 5 deflections, 3 pick sixes, and was an all-PMC selection. And so for Wittke, for his wide receiver breakdown grade, he has a 76.15 out of 100 for his junior year tape. His 3 highest grades were versatility with a 9 out of 10, balance, aka body control, with a 4.25 out of 5, and speed with a 4.2 out of 5. His 3 lowest grades are blocking with a 3 out of 5, route tree with a 3 out of 5, and tackle breaking with a 3 out of 5. And so looking at the overall breakdown, again, for the grades that are out of 10, Wittke has a 7 out of 10 for frame, 9 for versatility, 8.3 for hands, 7 for route running, which is separation and field awareness. Now for the grades that are out of 5, 3 for blocking, 4.2 for ball skills, 3 for release, 4 for agility, 4.2 for speed, 4.1 for acceleration, 4.15 for contested catch, 3 for route tree, 3.8 for rack, again that is field vision, ball in hand, 4.15 for jump balls, 3 for tackle breaking, and 4.25 for balance, again that is body control. And Wittke is just someone that you really feel good about if he is on your team. He stands at 6'1", 185 if his Twitter and huddle are to be believed, which, I assume they are. I don't really have any reason to think that they're not, but looking at his film notes from Simon, Robert Wittke has become a star for the Cowboys. His receiver film looks solid as he shows good straight line speed and really good ball skills. He is someone who will consistently win jump balls and make difficult catches in traffic. The potential is definitely there, but he needs to refine a lot. I'd love to see him develop an arsenal of releases as well as clean up his route running, which is sloppy at times. In addition, Simon thinks his agility can use some work and would love to see him be more of a threat after the catch. It'll be interesting to see what happens his senior year, but he is also a talented DB and will easily be a next level player either way with his combination of ball skills and straight line speed. Now, he doesn't have any offers that we are aware of, but again, should be a D2 guy, basically guaranteed. And looking at Denver West's schedule for next season, all of their games, well, here's the thing. Some of their games are against kind of cupcake squads. So they're playing Prospect Ridge Academy, Englewood, Manual, Jefferson, Mitchell, TCA, Lincoln, Alameda, and D'Evelyn. The only good team on that list is TCA, the Classical Academy. And that is the game that, if you were a college coach looking at Robert Wittke, probably that and Englewood are the games that I would look at as these are the best players he's going to play against all year. These are the best teams he's going to play against all year. This is what he can do against talent who is on that next level. Because, I mean, looking at it, Manual and Jefferson, just not good teams. Prospect Ridge Academy, historically not a good team. TCA and Englewood are really it, in my mind. So, if you're a coach, watch how Wittke does at the Classical Academy. And that is it for Robert Wittke. Best of luck this season, and on to our final player of my first episode of the Spotlight series, that being Eli Schuknecht from Buena Vista, the 6-foot, 195-pound running back. So looking at Schuknecht from his last couple of seasons, he did play a little bit his freshman year, but not enough to really write home about. His sophomore year, though, he had 949 rushing yards, 9 tutties, 23 tackles, and a sack. In his junior year, he had almost 1,400 rushing yards, only short by 4, 14 rushing touchdowns, 150 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns in the air, 206 kick return yards, 33 tackles, 2 sacks, and was an Offensive Playmaker of the Year finalist. Now for his RB film breakdown grade, Schuknecht got a 76.3 out of 100 on the whole. His 3 highest grades were acceleration with an 8.5 out of 10, versatility with an 8.5 out of 10, and then it was a tie at frame with 8.4 and straight line speed, or 8.4 at both frame and straight line speed. His 3 lowest grades were receiving at 3, route running at 3, and then a bunch of stuff tied at 3.5. We'll go through what that other stuff was. But looking at... So we're just going to jump right into that. Pass blocking was a 3.5. Tackle breaking, which is direct contact tackle, shedding, stiff arm, stuff like that, 3.5. Elusiveness was a 3.5. Balance was a 4. Hands was a 3.5. Second line vision, or second level vision, excuse me, is a 3.5. Rack is a 3.5. First level reading is a 4 out of 5, and balance is a 4 again. And then the grades that are out of 10, again, a lot of those were really, really good. The only one that was below an 8 was agility, which is cuts and change of direction. That was a 7.5 out of 10. And so looking at Schuknecht, his RB film notes, Schuknecht is a taller back with great acceleration and good speed. His 100 meter of 11.39 is a very good time for somebody at his height and frame. His agility and cuts in general can use some work, but he is still tough to bring down because of how fast he is and how physical he can get at the point of contact. Simon thinks that he is for sure a next level player and could be a very interesting player for a lot of teams. For now, he could definitely be in line for an MVP level senior year and a bigger season than what he had last year, which is tough considering how well he played last season. Looking at this season, though, Schuknecht and the Buena Vista squad as a whole have games against Salida, Platte Valley, Centauri, Lyman, Ellicott, Steamboat, Springs, Rye, Peyton, and the Colorado Springs Christian School. Games to watch in that sequence. Personally, I think Lyman is a big one. Buena Vista has a bit of a losing streak against the Badgers, and this is a chance to get theirs back. Lyman is also one of the most winning teams in the country. Or not, I mean, historically, yes, in the country. In the state in the past few years, most definitely, though. Steamboat Springs is a solid team from a classification above that I think will do a good job challenging this BV team, and then I think that at Platte Valley, I think that's going to be a very good game. I'm going to see about making it out to this one, actually, because it's a long drive against a historically solid squad, league winner in their league last year. And, I mean, so far as we're aware, Schuknecht doesn't have any offers, but I definitely see that changing this year. I think he's a surefire D2 guy. I'm not sure about D1, maybe a couple of FCS squads, but definitely a D2, probably RMAC level player. And that'll do it for this episode of the Player Spotlights. Again, we went over Ben Reish, Jordan Jones, Brogan Palmer, Griffin Kratochvil, Robert Wittke, and Eli Schuknecht. And this is a very, very good crop of players. Colorado, honestly, this class of 2026, I don't think any of these guys are below seniors. This class of 2026 might be, and not even going to say might be, is, in my opinion, the best recruiting class this state has seen in at least 30 years. I'm going to say that again. In terms of depth and quality of this class, this is the best class that Colorado has seen in the past 30 years. And each of these players is part of the reason why. So I am very excited to see how all of these guys perform over the course of the rest of the season. And if I am able, I will definitely see about making it out to a game where all of them are playing. And so that's going to be it for me today. Again, it is Gideon doing Player Spotlights. Next episode, we're going to be doing a bit of a 3A, 4A special, and then the episode after that will be a 5A exclusive from me. If you want to find us, you can find Playmakers Corner anywhere that you listen to podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Playmakers Corner, except for on X, aka Twitter, where it is Playmaker, not Playmakers, Playmaker Corner, because somehow that was already taken. Again, this is Gideon. It is great to be back in the box state after a few months out of country, and I cannot wait for this season. I hope you all are having amazing days. I will catch you on the flip, and peace.